Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I want to welcome everyone to another episode of the Setback Strategist Network. I'm very excited that it's the end of the week, and we are going into the weekend with a very special guest tonight. I've heard a lot about this young man on social media, and I'm glad to have had the opportunity to have him on this network with us tonight. And I want to introduce youth pastor Mike Rose. How you doing tonight?
Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Like I said, I see you doing some great things out there. With your pastoring and everything like that. Why don't you start out by just telling us a little bit about your journey? I mean, I know you're a youth pastor right now, but how did everything get started for you?
Well, I'm actually a youth minister. I haven't reached that pastor title yet. I'm still one of those little people. But I'm just going to kind of speed through. I ended up giving my life to Christ in 2011. I was going to a church for about a year and a half, and then I got licensed on my wedding day as a minister in training. And then last August 2nd, 2014, I got ordained as a minister. And once I got ordained, my pastor came to me and asked me to be his youth minister. So it was one of those things that I was chosen for, because it's definitely not where I saw myself being.
Okay. So, besides, I know you say you gave your life to Christ and everything like that. Tell us about when you gave your life to Christ. I know a lot of people out there have given their life to Christ. There's some people out there who haven't quite done it yet. There's some people out there who are a little afraid. They don't know what to expect. Tell us about what that experience was like for you.
Well, for me, it was kind of like I ran back into my wife. Like we have been married for Tuesday will be 3 years, and we have been talking off and on for about 6 or 7 years. And God knew if she would have took me to a church that I probably wouldn't have went in. So the church that I started going to, they were actually holding their services in a office building. And she took me in the office building, like, sit right here or whatever. She went upstairs because at that time she was the adjutant for the apostle of the church that she was going to, and the church that I ended up becoming a member of. And then that night, God was preaching and he prophesied to me. Maybe a week later, I went to my family reunion, and in North Carolina, and my family in North Carolina, we have a lot of elders, ministers, bishops, all of those things. So my cousin was asking me, man, come to church, and I kept telling him, nah, I ain't coming to church. I'm walking around the family reunion trying to get drunk, and I ended up drinking like 2/5 of Remy Martin and a bunch of beers chasing it down that day. So he was like, just come to church. So I tried to sleep. I ended up sat through the service, and as he got to when they opened the doors of the church, he was doing it, and God kept nudging me to go. And I'm like, nah, I ain't going up there. So right before he closed it, I ended up getting up, walking down, and I ended up when I gave my life to Christ, it was kind of like a bunch of weight that I had been holding on, a bunch of things that I had been holding on had been relieved, and then all of those things, and like, when I talk to my friends now, because out of my friends, I'm like one of the only ones who actually get saved and actually go to church on a regular basis and actually try to do those things that God asked you to do. They was like, well, Mike, you saved, so everything is supposed to be okay. And I kind of break it down to like God being a probation officer. Like when you get released from jail or when you get released from sin, you don't get to go straight out and live your life. It's like that time when you have to go check back and forth in and make sure you're still doing the things that you're supposed to do on that path to be able to walk into your salvation. And those were some things, it's like, then I actually gave my life to Christ, man. Me and my wife went through hell, like the first year and a half. About into this, man, so I did because it allowed me actually to have a testimony, because I really didn't have a testimony because before I gave my life to Christ, the devil had really had me tricked. You know, like even though my friends around me was getting killed, my friends around me was going to jail, all of us was doing the same things, but I never thought about dying. I never thought about going to jail. You know, I thought I was just living life, having fun, and being able to do what I wanted to do. You know, the devil had like this shield over my eyes that had me covered because I really wasn't worried about actually anything bad ever happening to me. You know, never happened to me. Friends going to jail, that never happened to me. Friends getting killed, and I'm still alive. You know, and all of those things happen just for me to be able to sit right here, right now, and be able to save some other kid's life. You know.
So Mike, let me ask you a question. What kind of mentors have you had along your journey? I know that all of us sometimes, you know, we have a mentor, whether it's one or two people in our life that, you know, really speak greatness into us. I had that person, you know, along my journey. Talk about the mentor or mentors that you've had during your journey.
Well, right now it's crazy because until I started going to this new church that I go to now, I didn't really actually have a mentor. You know, I was learning everything on my own. God was giving me like self-revelations from the studying and all of those things. But now I actually have, I consider three. You know, my pastor, Thomas Brockenberry, Fulfilling Purpose Ministries, you know, he took a chance and he's sowing things into me to hopefully get me to the next level. Then I have two gospel rappers that I look up to, one named Rick Torture, who I deal with on a daily, day-to-day basis because he live in my area, and then another one named Church Boy. You know, whenever I get into a position or I get somewhere where I don't understand something or something that's frustrating me, you know, I call them because they've been in it long. One been in it 9 years, one been in it 17 years. You know, so I kind of lean on them, you know, and they talk senses back into me, you know, because I'm not perfect, but it's a lot of things that I deal with that I rather not show to the public because people will judge you off of what they see. So sometimes you got to be careful what you show them, you know. So I kind of lean on these three guys, man, to actually build me back up and pour strength back into me when I'm worried about things or I'm nervous about something or I don't know how to go into something. I lean on Pastor Thomas, Church Boy, and Rick Torture.
So let me ask you this, Mike. So besides being a youth pastor, what all are you into? I mean, I know a lot of times in this industry, sometimes we wear a lot of different hats. Are you one of those type? Are you one of those types that wear a lot of different hats?
Yeah, I actually I actually work for DC Public Schools, where I'm an in-school suspension coordinator. So I went to my principal this year, and I got 4 kids that I actually mentor at my school. And then I have a Christian brand T-shirt company called Anointed Covering, and I also am a Christian hip hop artist.
So see you wear a lot. See you wear a lot of different hats.
Yeah,
So,
husband, father, all that stuff.
so let me ask you this though. What is a typical day like for you? I mean, this on a daily basis. What's the typical day like for you?
It's right. Work, study. All of those things. You know, I leave at 5:45 in the morning because my job is in DC, which it takes me like an hour and a half to get there. Uh, I go work there 8 to 6. Then I come home and try to do a little studying. You know, I try to get my prayer in. Um, I try to come up with different strategies, different things to be able to get my music to a different platform. Uh, I'm writing right now. I'm writing some features for a couple artists. Uh, Trying to get some new designs for a T-shirt showcase that I want to have soon, and also trying to get my album finished. I consider it actually my first debut album. I want to release sometime this summer.
Okay. Okay. So It's kind of fun. You actually answered one of the questions I was getting ready to ask you on some things that you was getting ready to do, but you
Oh, okay.
hey, that's fine though. I mean, so that's good though, that you are working on different projects. What are some things you're looking to do within the next 5 or 10 years for yourself?
The next 5 or 10 years, I actually want to have a couple youth facilities for at-risk and high-risk juvenile offenders. A couple group homes. My wife is into counseling, being able to get her set for her private practice. And getting some stuff situated, man. So when my kids get of age and they decide that they want to do something, they actually don't have to scrounge around for money to be able to release a project. They can say, okay, I want to do this, and the funds will be there for them to be able to do it. Because a lot of time for an independent artist, it's hard to do a lot of things because funds, you're trying to pay your bills and do all of those things, and you're still trying to be able to release your music and release your T-shirt brand and try to do Christian lounges to create platforms for other artists and different stuff like that. So it's just, man, just basically setting funds in place for my kids to be able to be prosperous.
Okay. So let me ask you this. I know you said that you have someone that motivated you, that was a mentor to you. Are you currently doing any kind of mentorship or mentoring any young kids or anything like that right now?
Yeah, I got before I said I had five middle schoolers that I mentor. I do like morning check-ins and day to day, pulling them out, getting them on, making sure they're on task in their classrooms and doing different stuff like that. So, and hopefully I can expand one day in the future.
Okay, okay. So let me ask you this though. You got a lot of great things going on for yourself. What advice would you give someone that's in your position? I mean, what advice would you give someone that is either looking to build that strong relationship with God, but maybe the people around them are, you know, influence them in a certain way? Or what advice would you give a person looking to, become an artist like yourself or an entrepreneur like yourself, that's maybe going through different struggles, and maybe they're allowing fear and all those other things get in the way of what God has in store for them?
What I will tell them is that God didn't make us a fear, you know, but a sound minds, to be able to go out and press through anything that anybody's ever told you, anything that anybody's ever said negative to you, any way that anybody's tried to block what you're doing, just continue to press through that, because it's it, being walking in this walk. It's that's why he says the race wasn't given to the swift, but to whom who can endure. It's kind of like a boxing match. It's never a boxer who hasn't been hit. But even though that boxer gets hit and that boxer takes punches, and it seems like at some point that boxer's defeated and that boxer gets winded and that boxer's arms get heavy and his feet get heavy, you still gotta take everything that you have inside, all of the doubt, all of the naysaying, all of the pain, all of the hurt, all of the tears, all of those things, and you gotta muster all of those things up and turn them into motivation. you know, and all it takes is for one punch being put in front of the right person one time for you to go from here to here in no time. So just push through all of those things that people try to say, push through all of those things that people try to do, because a person can say anything or tell you that you're anything, but you are only what you believe you are. Like the lion. I mean, the lion isn't the biggest animal in the jungle. The giraffe bigger. The elephant's bigger. The lion's not the fastest animal in the jungle. The cheetah's faster. The lion's not even the strongest. The gorilla's stronger. The rhinoceros is stronger. But the lion is the king of the jungle because he believes that he's the king of the jungle. You know, and you can never take a lion and tell him he's not the king of it. Because no matter how loud or how quiet a lion is, when you look at it, when you see it, you still notice that it's a lion. And that lion still believes that he's the king of the jungle, and no one can take that away from him.
Powerful, man. Powerful. Uh, is there any quotes or anything that maybe you want to leave the audience with, as far as your contact information, your website links, your social media, any motivational quotes that you want to leave our audience with?
For me, my Instagram is minister_Mike. My Twitter is Mike Rose DDCT. My Facebook is Mike Rose. For booking and info, you can get in contact with the rate group at gmail.com, or you can contact Tarisha Gilmore on Facebook. And the quote, the thing that always sticks to me, man, is Romans 12:2. You know, it says, therefore I urge you, brothers and sisters, in the view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship. And do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, so you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will. You know, that's what always sticks to me. Like, we can take Christianity and do things in a certain fashion where you can still have fun and you can do all of those things, but don't take it as far as where you crossing over to, or you playing, or it makes it look like you jumping back and forth over the fence. You know, you always got it, like I always tell people, and like I said earlier, man, people will only judge you by what they see. You know, and sometimes your life will be the only Bible that people get to read, so you got to make sure that you show them the right things.
And you definitely have a powerful message. I just met you, and just got connected with you. But like I said, I'm very proud of what you're doing. I wish the best for you and your success. You're a hardworking individual. And I know that you could be an inspiration to a lot of young people out there, as well as the older people out there, because there are a lot of people out there who are going through struggles when they're pursuing something great, and there are a lot of those struggles to discourage them. But what you've done is you have not allowed that to stop you. You've allowed it to motivate you to work even harder. So I just encourage you to keep doing what it is that you're doing. And like I said, it's 2015, so that means it's going to be some doors open up this year that we thought years before we thought would never be open, or we thought it would take a long time for it to open up. But this is the year of miracles, and so I see some great things happening for you. And I definitely wanted this thank you for this taking the time and being a guest on the network. And don't be a stranger to the networks. Definitely stay connected with me and stay connected with the network. And I just want to say thank you, and God bless you.
Same to you. Stay encouraged yourself, man. Because I know it get rough for you too. It's just hold on to it. Just hold on. If you just hold on to the hem, it'll play itself out.
Yeah, it's definitely a process, but we're gonna hold on. So yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, world out there, we have just completed our another episode of the Setback Strategist Network with Mike Rose. You've all heard him. Connect with him on social media. Add him on Facebook and Twitter, and And you know, if you have an event coming up, you know, book him for an event. You know, he has a powerful message. You know, and he would definitely be someone that your organization, your church, your event, your function will be able to benefit from. So reach out to him, connect with him, bring him in, let him put a message in your organization. And this
Thank
is
you,
it. This is
sir.
this is the host, and we just want to say thank you and God bless.
God bless you.